So hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Ali Show, and today we have very special guest, very good looking and very talented, Mr. David Nyika. Did I get your last name right?
Yeah, Nyika, like sneaker.
That's the one.
Yeah.
So you hear a lot of people, I hear a lot of your interviews and a lot of commentaries as well, and there's just so many pronunciation of your name. So I always try to ask someone, whether I pronounced it right.
Yeah.
And it's more, and you were telling me it's more of a N-Y-E.
Yeah.
So it's a Nyika, which is the right pronunciation.
Emphasis on the Nyika.
Nyika.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like everyone seems to get it wrong, but I kind of just roll with it now. Like Nyika is the most common one. I've had some like funny Christmas cards where they'll be throwing like extra syllables in there. It'll be like Nakita or something stupid like that. But no, it's easier than it looks.
Yeah, definitely. So, I think it's good to clarify as well, because some of the ones I feel like some people actually get offended if people pronounce their their last name wrongly or whatever. So it's always good to clarify. And I understand you have a funny story behind background of how you got your name or
stuff. So my grandfather's from Uganda. That's where the name comes from. He's full Ugandan. My father was born in New Zealand, but they went straight back to Uganda and then ended up in New Zealand. And so from what I understand is my grandfather came from a tribe where the chief, his name was Koija Nyika, and this guy used to walk around with a stool over his shoulder. And whenever he sat down, he'd put the stool down and sit on it. And so
that's convenient.
But it gets weird. It's so like my grandfather, when he was like a little kid, he used to follow him around. He used to follow the chief around and have a stool over his shoulder. Whenever he sat down, he'd sit down.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and so he actually got the nickname Nyika. And so when he came to New Zealand, I don't think he didn't have a birth certificate. They asked him what his name was.
Wow.
And he said, "My name's Tom Nyika." And his family name was something else, like Amoy or Aria or something. But this could be like just like the story's been like slowly like I don't know tangled up along the way.
It just changes.
Yeah, but from what I understand, is like it was just his nickname, and now we're kind of just living it,
It becomes his
bizarre,
actual name.
man.
It's so weird. Like back in the day, you're talking about birth certificates and all that as well. Like there was a time I remember, I don't know, even if I can't even remember, do I even know my grandparents' birth dates?
Yeah, no, he doesn't know how old he is. They've given him a random birthday, I think. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Bizarre, man.
That's interesting, man.
I think he's about 80.
Yeah, and that's the thing as well. Not only birth certificates, I think driving licenses, like back then, like I think even my dad, like for years, he didn't have a driving license. So they just drove and they they just rode motorbikes around and they just cruise, bro. As long as you got money, you can buy it and you can just do whatever you like.
Go some places overseas, man. Anything goes. You've got like a family of 5, like on a little moped.
Yeah, bro. That's the
Thailand.
Asian.
It's like whoa, holy man. These guys want to die, but it's just life, man.
Yeah, you go to Thailand and like Indonesia, and that's like a common thing. No helmets. They're just riding, and like especially when you go to places like Bali, no tops, and everybody's just riding. And that's crazy, bro. When you think about it, like
you don't see that many accidents either.
Yeah, that's the thing. That was what I was just talking about this to a mate of mine the other day. Places, Western countries, you're fully padded, leather jackets, fully covered pants and stuff like that. Yeah, and this guy's there just riding with like minimum clothes, jandals, and like you don't see accidents or rarely. Yeah. And they're just easy.
They've got a different kind of mentality. Whoever's in front has right away. So if you're going to try to get around them and they cut you off, you say, oh, okay. Yeah. There's no like hostility in there's no road rage. And here we have all these rules and everyone gets so anal around the rules. They're like, hey, he cut me off and like it's your fault because da-da-da-da-da. But like people get wrapped up in that.
Yeah, but I mean, since you mentioned that, it's quite interesting that you said that, because personally for me, I feel that here is quite relaxed, bro. Like when people cut you know, okay, well, we're talking about Hamilton, right? I'm not talking about Auckland yet. Let's not go there.
It's different, man.
But you know, it's a different place altogether. Right. But like here, I feel it's not as you know, people are not as angry or violent. Like I've been to some places where, bro, you just, you know, you could just like do a late lane change, and they're just bam, you know, it's crazy, bro. And that's the other thing, when someone gets the horn, person on the receiving end, they just seem to get like really angry as well, and then they start to do this you know, passive aggressive shit, you know.
I think it's like a vicious cycle as well, because if you do make a mistake and someone beeps at you, you get mad, and so you start driving more aggressively, you know. But yeah, I'm quite inward with my anger. So if something you know makes me angry, I'll stew on it, and I'll it's probably not the best way to do it.
Might not be the best.
I get it out in the gym, you know. Save it for later.
Keep it inside, bro. It's so dangerous. When you keep that anger inside. And then it'll build up or get to a point and it just bursts.
Yeah,
bro, you know?
That's why boxing's such a good vice, man. So healthy, and I think that's why a lot of people get so much benefit from just training, just from hitting a bag, because they have all this kind of like
release.
Yeah, it's a massive release, man, because you get to both exert a lot of energy, and you're also getting to hit something, you know. And if you're lucky, you might get to hit somebody as well. You know?
I mean, well, definitely, you have sparring as well, so there might be a little bit of a chance, you know. But I'm sure that the guys who are sparring with you would definitely would not want to get on the wrong side of your.
Yeah, well, that's the game, man. It's the game. No one wants to get hit, and if you do want to get hit, you're on the way to. Brain injury, man.
Yeah, bro, that's cool. The one.
That's one of the sobering sides of boxing.
Definitely, bro. Yeah, man. You were talking about you know, the background of your grandparents and all that. So, actually, have you ever been to Uganda? Or?
Nah, never, man. Never.
Oh, wow.
I'll tell you what. My retirement plan, it's probably going to change, but I really want to explore Uganda, figure out what it's like. But I've got like an obsession with coffee. I love my coffee, man. I'm a 3 or 4 a day, man, which is probably rookie numbers to some people. But I know you can grow coffee trees in Uganda, and I'd love to do that, man. Is to even like sponsor a family to run a farm, and then bring the coffee beans back to New Zealand.
Yeah, get into that import export. That's pretty good. That's pretty good one. It's giving away free tips and ideas. Man. Don't do that, brother. No, but just sharing, you know, But talking about coffee, what kind of coffee guy are you? Like, what kind of coffee do you like?
So I do a Chemex. I've got a Chemex at home, which is like a filter. It's like a pour. You pour it over like the paper filter, and it's.
Hey, you! Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video.
I'm becoming like a connoisseur. You know, there are people like they do wine tasting. I love my coffee, so I'm always trying different coffee beans and stuff. Always keen to learn about how the roasting affects it. I should probably, you know, do a course or something, like a barista course or something.
Yeah, I think they do those.
I don't think they take very long either.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's definitely a craft and an art as well. Like I see a lot of people who, you know, they're really into it, and like, you know, just some guys were telling me the different ways how they do it, and like, you know, the beans they use, and
man,
and that's crazy.
There's levels to it, eh? There's a psychology behind flavor, behind taste. A lot of the time, people will attach a flavor with a memory, which distorts the actual taste of whatever you're eating. Like you might like the taste of something because it reminds you of a time, you know, and that's totally irrelevant to what the actual taste is, which is buzzy, man. It's buzzy. I've been down a rabbit hole, man.
Yeah, bro. That one's pretty interesting. One of the more interesting ones I've tried is the Lua Coffee in Bali. Have you tried that before?
That's the one with the anteater thing. Poops it out. And
it eats the stuff, and then it poops it out, and then they take the beans from there and they make your coffee. It's pretty cool, eh? So
I've heard there's some shady stuff around that, eh? So,
oh, really?
Because the idea is these little anteater type animals go around and they pick the best cherries, and so they eat them and then they poop them out, and so the idea is that there's a guy following this little monkey thing around, picking up its poop.
Yeah.
And how long do you have to follow a little monkey for, or a little anteater? to get a kilo of coffee, man. That's a lot. That's a lot of coffee beans.
I've seen so the trip that I did in Bali years ago. I actually went to one of those farms, and they have like big enclosures where there's heaps of them in there, man. Dude. And so they feed those fellas, and and then they just poop there. So it's I guess pretty easy, but yeah, I guess like it's quite rough. Some of the animal rights people might not be very happy with that, but.
I think it does get worse. Like I've heard of like there being like mills, like a mill where you just like you got a little dude in a cage and you force feed it and then it poops and you collect it. That's
pretty harsh.
Like, I get pretty like sensitive around like not animal rights so much like but
animal cruelty.
Animal cruelty. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, like I went to a zoo in Dubai quite a while back, but I remember. Looking at, I heard there was this zoo, and so I went and looked at the cost.
Did you go to was that the public one or a private one?
It was a public one.
Okay.
The public one. So I looked at the price list and it said it was about 40 cents New Zealand to get in, and I was like, okay, it's gonna be crap. And like sure enough, I could smell like some like goat shit. And I was like, that smells like home. I was like, went in. Sure enough, goats there, whatever here, like pigs here. And I went around the corner and there's a massive silverback gorilla. And I was like, what? Wow. What's going on here? And turned around the corner and there's like it could have been a polar bear, but it was so brown. And like there are wolves there. And I was like, this is really unethical, man. Like this was 43 degrees. I was like dying in the heat. And there are like Arctic animals living in this shelter, and I was like, this isn't cool, man.
It is hot, bro. Like no doubt. Bro. Like I spent quite a bit of time like working in back then. I used to work in Dubai, and man, it is hot, bro. So like when you're saying this, and I'm at the back of my mind, I'm like, man, them dealing with the heat as well.
Yeah, it hurts being in the sun, man. It actually just hurts as soon as you walk out.
And that's the thing, is why I asked earlier, was it a public or private zoo? Yeah. Because those fellas have private zoos, bro. And like, there's like Pablo Escobar shit,
I've only heard stories.
And actually, you can look it up. There's a guy called Belhassa. He runs like a big company, and he has a private zoo that he invites like, top people in society, like celebrities, soccer players, stars, and stuff like that. I think Izzy was actually.
I think I might have seen.
Yeah, he was invited there, and but I don't know what the conditions are. How they take care, but I'm assuming they have certain standards and laws to look after these animals as well. Certain care that they need to put. But bro, it's cool, man. Like imagine you have your private zoo, bro. You got enough money to have a private zoo.
Those are the ones that I saw Izzy with. They look like they're well looked after. They're fat. They're happy, man.
Yeah.
These ones in the zoo I went to, they weren't happy. Some of them were in like a 2 meter by 1 meter cage, and it's like a wild big cat kind of thing. It's just pacing back and forwards, and it can't even see you. It's just like wow, they look cool, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think that's maybe the funding and like the money people paying to come in as well. Like it's not cheap, bro. Like talking about animals and shit. Like you watching that Tiger King. I'm sure you watched it during the lockdown.
Yeah, who hasn't?
Okay, let's not go too deep into that one. But they were talking about how much it costs to feed the tiger for a whole year, and like stuff that they were doing, like getting expired meat and shit like that. Yeah. And bro, that was nasty, man.
That's like
a
bit funky. Yeah.
That was really nasty, bro. That's crazy. So yeah, before we dwell too deep on the animal situation, we kind of
pretty far gone.
We kind of drifted quite. So okay, back to how did you get into boxing and
my dad's always been like a fan of combat sports and watched a lot of boxing when he was younger. And
Sorry, I just want to interrupt you there. It's very interesting that since you mentioned about your dad again. Just so that people know, I actually got to know David through his dad. So I knew his dad like 2 years ago. And I haven't met him till I think only was just recently, like a month, like a few weeks ago. So like we talked. I mean, we've met before, we've seen before, but we've never really talked. But yeah, just interesting. So Simon, thank you for giving us the introduction.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he's a cool dude, man.
He is, man. He is definitely.
he basically was one of the driving factors. You know, I mentioned like, you know, I'm kind of like fascinated with this like combat sports thing, and we'd been watching all the UFCs, we'd been watching heaps of boxing. I actually wanted to get into MMA before I started boxing.
Wow.
And I remember like I'd cut holes in my socks to look like a Muay Thai fighter. Just thinking I didn't know what I was doing, but I was really excited about like doing some mixed martial arts. Me and my brother used to lay down mattresses and we'd like do BJJ, and I had all the technique, but he was bigger and stronger. And
back then?
Back then, yeah. Now it's changed now.
Now he's just towering over your brother.
But yeah, so I kind of mentioned to my dad, I was like, yeah, I'm keen to get into like combat sports, and so we just found the first gym in the phone book. And I was at that gym for 7 years boxing. And
wow, back in the phone book days.
Yeah, phone books, man.
Bro, that's a wild, man.
Are they still a thing? Can you still get one of them?
I think you might still have. I think last year they
Nobody
were still
has
sending
home phones. There are no home phones anymore. So
I mean, they are. There's some. Let's not mention about those guys. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, man. But yeah. So I got into boxing. My dad got a membership at the same time, and he actually had his debut maybe after like a couple years training. He's hilarious, man. He's 51 now,
but he's fit.
He's a beast, man. Like, he's got great genetics.
I was gonna say, like, he's just built different, bro. Like, looking at him, like, I didn't, man, to be honest, okay, let's put an age to when I didn't know how old he was. I would say maybe I thought he was 42, 43.
Yeah, he looks pretty good. Yeah. He's got no wrinkles, man. Like even his dad has no wrinkles, just tight skin. That's great, man.
Just he must have, a really good facial routine. He
should. I don't think so, man. Just great genetics, man. And so I feel like me and my siblings, we're pretty lucky in a lot of ways. And then we've also got great work ethics, which allow us to train hard and also reap the benefits of having great genetics. My mother's half English and half whatever else. Like I think there's some like European in there, maybe some Scandinavian. Wow. So we got some Viking blood potentially.
Bro. But that's a pretty big mix, eh?
Cool, man. Yeah. My dad's also half Welsh. So go figure. It's bizarre, man.
It's all over.
Yeah, seems to help. But so been boxing for 10 years.
Wow, that's quite a while, eh?
Yeah, I feel old, man. I'm an old head in terms of boxing here in New Zealand. I feel like I've been around it for so long. I understand so many different aspects of the sport, and it's cool. It's cool, but it's taught me more about life than just boxing. There's so much more to boxing than just punching a dude in the face. But at the end of the day, when you're in the ring, you've got a target in front of you, and you just hit him and don't get hit.
And don't get hit as well. You know what's interesting? You're saying about that being 10 years in the boxing game, and it's quite interesting. I've heard this phrase get thrown around quite a bit. They actually refer to you as the king of amateur boxing in New Zealand.
Makes sense.
How do you react to that title?
I've never heard that before, but I definitely feel like I've hit a ceiling a little bit, and I think it's nearing that time to make a change, either move abroad and turn professional, or switch codes. I could switch to MMA. That'd be something. That'd be something. There's still something. Something in the back of my mind says, man, you need to change.
There's no harm trying if you want to.
Unless you get knocked out. Or you get your arm broken.
But just that thought of getting kicked in the head just doesn't really.
Dude, if someone kicked my shins, I say it all the time. I'd fall to bits. I wouldn't know what to do. Because I've stubbed my toe on the corner of the coffee table, and that hurts enough,
But yeah, man, talking about you've been doing it for a while, and bro, you've definitely got some big accomplishments, man. You've won the Commonwealth Games twice, and you're heading into the Olympics as well. And one of the things I wanted to ask was about the 2016 Olympics. I understand. From what I heard, I'm not 100% sure, but what I heard was a lot of people were telling me that you were actually were supposed to go for that one, but. What happened there?
I just lost the wrong fights at the wrong time, So I was close to qualifying, but I lost a couple of close decisions. I like at the time I was really sour, and I was sure there was a lot of corruption, which there turned out to be a lot of corruption within amateur boxing. But I was
in amateur boxing.
Yeah, dude. Well, there's no money in it, and so how do these events get put on? How do these events get run? And so there's obviously someone feeding the sport money. But like, in all fairness, like, I'm a much different boxer today than I was 4 years ago, and I've kind of looked back on old tapes and stuff, and like I probably just didn't like. I knew I belonged at the Olympics because I'd beaten some people that did go to the Olympics, but I think it's really humbled me in a lot of ways, and that's kind of the nature of the sport, man.
It's more of a learning experience. You took it as a learning experience.
And the funny thing is, I'm still learning. Like, there's now that the Olympics have been postponed, I'm in a funny place because I'm not even sure if it's going to be on, and it's been really tough, dude. It's been really tough because I feel like I'm being teased. It's like you don't make it to the first one. The Commonwealth Games have been really cool because they've been another real boost to my confidence, and allowing me to know exactly where I am. I know that I'm good enough.
Yeah. But you definitely belong.
I belong. Yeah, that's the thing. And that's when I look back at the 2016 Olympics, I'd moved up to heavyweight from light heavyweight, and I had a lot of foreign weight on my body that I didn't really know how to move around. And having that experience has allowed me to kind of build, and now I'm like a fully fledged heavyweight, which in professionals is cruiserweight, so 91 kilos. And still learning, man. Still learning.
And I was looking at the footage that you actually made. It was pretty cool, bro. The 10-year transformation, and you actually that just looking at your growth, bro. I'm still quite surprised. Like, how the heck did you?
It was tough, dude.
Bro, you just shot up, and then bro, you put a bit of weight as well, and I was like, man,
that was the hardest training I've ever done, man. Was trying to put on. I think I put on 12 kilos in 5 months.
Wow.
And it wasn't cool, man.
Hey, you, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video.
Yeah, I had to put on these 12 kilos in between off seasons. So from October to about February, I had to put on like enough weight to be able to mix it with these 91 kilo fighters. So I went from 78 kilos in my final at the 2014 Commonwealth Games, and moved up to 91 kilos within about six to 8 months.
It's got to be under 91?
Under 91,
right?
Yeah. So I was still under. I was well under still.
Yeah. So those fellas might be walking around maybe 5-6 kilos heavier.
Exactly.
And then just do a cut. Yeah. So that's pretty interesting as well.
Yeah, but that putting that weight on, I think I put on in those 5 months, I put on 10 kilos of lean mass and 2 kilos of fat. So it was really good weight. Yeah. But I remember
that's really low body fat percentage as well.
Yeah. I was about probably about 6 or 7% after putting on the weight. But like I remember throwing up after every second session kind of thing. Like it was just the lactic acid in my body just didn't agree with me. And I was doing these full body strength sessions with my strength and conditioning coach. He's still my guy today. That was 6 years ago.
We're talking about Angus?
No. His colleague, Sean Patterson. So I've been working with Sean Patterson for 6 years now.
Wow.
It's been cool, man. He's my main guy now because I don't have a coach now, and I've been working with him, just him, for about 3 years.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. One of the things I heard, like, you don't have a head coach in your all your training, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
So like what has got to me, like, I look at a lot of the amateur fighters, like not just here but overseas, like they're in like a full camp with like dedicated coaches and stuff like that. And I'm looking at, you
multi-million-dollar campaigns, man. Like,
bro.
And a lot of money goes into their sport overseas.
Definitely. And like, talking about one we just mentioned before with Junior as well, like, talking about the GB team as well, and how much support funding they have, and, such a tight ship that they run over there, and, it's pretty full on. And then I'm looking at you and like, you're telling me you don't have a, like a head coach, which is so surprising. Like, you know, like, and you doing, you know, like a lot, and you achieving stuff, and you're mixing it up with like the elite, you know, and you belong right up there, and possibly you could be the champion as well, which is so crazy. And at the back of my mind, I'm just thinking, what if you had that kind of setup as well?
Yeah,
you know,
man. Like,
how much could it, you know, bring your game up?
It crossed my mind. It crossed my mind to, you know, after the 2018 Commonwealth Games, I was like, should I turn professional? What kind of pathway do I have moving forwards here in New Zealand? Like, I have a really good understanding of what I'm capable of, but I have trust issues. Like, I'm not just going to go and meet a new coach and let them reshape everything that I've kind of built in the 7 or 8 years kind of thing. And so I made a calculated decision to hold off until 2020, which is a long time to you know, stick it out.
It is. It is.
But you know, it's been a test of my character, and it's required me to be a lot more mature and self-managed. You know. And it's not easy. It's not easy. I'd be lying. I'd be lying if I said it was easy, because, you know, I've been boxing since I left high school full time, and you know, there's not a lot of money in amateur boxing.
Definitely.
It has been really, really tough, and there's always this guy in the background with a cookie saying, "Hey, come over here, man. Like, I'll give you a little bit of cash."
They're waiting. I mean, they're watching you, bro. They're watching you, and they're waiting, man. And like, that's like, it's quite, you know, when you go into like a whole business world, bro, they're sharks. You know, these fellas are sharks, bro.
Yeah, man.
And if you don't like, if you don't go, you know, walking carefully, bro, or you have, you know, some good people around you who know some stuff as well. Yeah. Bro, you're gonna get eaten by the sharks. You will, man,
and a lot of people do. I've stayed true to myself, which I'm like quite proud of. You know, since I had my first fight, I laid out a pathway. I said I'm gonna go to the Commonwealth Games and the Olympics, then turn professional. And so I've stuck it out for 10 years, waiting for this opportunity, and it's still being dangled in the distance.
Yeah,
but
man.
I've invested in myself, and that's something that a lot of people, I think, can I guess learn from. But at the same time, I haven't those rewards that you imagine, you know, like the fame and the money and everything that you ever wanted. You know, once you get there, what do you do after that? What do you do? You know,
What's the next step?
Yeah, so I got that Commonwealth Games, and then I missed out on the Olympics, and all of a sudden, you know, my cage has been shaken, and I'm like, oh, like what happens now? That's not how it works, you know. Like, yeah, it's real easy to feel, you know, entitled, but like, the biggest lessons I've learned have come from those obstacles, you know, that you have to get past. And so I'm assuming this is going to be something similar.
It's really interesting you mentioned about that, like with everything that's going on in the world right now, and you know, the uncertainty about the Olympics as well. Like, I can only imagine what's going on in your head. You know, like, is it gonna happen? Is it not? And understand, like, you know, there is a possibility that Olympics might not happen.
Yeah, and I'm very aware of that, and it's been really tough. But I'll tell you what I've been doing, man. I've got into bonsai. Do you know what bonsai is?
Yeah,
it's like Japanese tree art. So I've become obsessed, dude. I literally just came from a pottery class. I'm making the pots for the bonsai.
Really? Wow.
Yesterday I made bonsai soil. I went and bought different kinds of soil and pumice and put it together, and now I'm propagating bonsai clippings, dude. I'm deep in it. This has been my vice, because I've been super stressed, dude. I've been really stressed. I've never experienced anxiety before, and it's been creeping up over since we got out of lockdown. When we got out of lockdown, all of a sudden, like, over lockdown, I was great because I just qualified for the Olympics.
Yeah, man.
And
you must have been stoked. Yeah,
but postponed. I was like, it's all right. I'm qualified. Don't worry about it. But I've been super anxious, and I've been I've been in a rut that I'm kind of thinking, you know, how do you get out of this? And I can't imagine, you know, when you get to a stage, I don't know if you can relate with this, but I got to a point where I was thinking, I can't imagine not feeling like this right now. And I'm going to get heavy on you, man. But like, that's been something that that I'm working on right now, you know, and I've been trying to find the correct way to go about, get myself out of that rut, and it's tough, dude.
It's quite a dangerous space to be in.
Yeah, it is.
It is a dangerous space because like if you don't you know like you don't get the right help or you all it might take is the wrong maybe the wrong advice from the wrong people, and it could just just spiral out of control. Dude. So you gotta be careful as well. But talking about getting into bonsai and all that, like I hear it's a pretty therapeutic.
It's very therapeutic, man.
And
but this pottery's doing my head in, though. Bro, that's hard.
I'll be honest with you. Like,
tough, man.
When I was a kid, in school you have this co-curricular activities and stuff where you get to do like either sport or stuff like that. So when I was younger, I didn't really get into sport that much. So yeah, and then they actually had a pottery club, bro.
Oh, yeah. Dude.
So I thought when you mentioned about that, I was like, when you mentioned to me earlier that you just came from the the pottery thing, I was like, I thought you were joking, bro. I thought
serious,
man. But it's pretty cool, and I really enjoyed it, bro.
Yeah.
You start off with like the the manual ones, and then I went on to like the machine ones, which was
There's a machine?
Cool. Yeah, bro.
I didn't get a machine, bro.
that one's a little bit
lying to me.
Yeah, that was the pretty when you get a little bit more experience, they get you on the machine where you kind of sit and like you just step on the pedal and it turns.
That one, yeah.
And bro, that one's pretty cool because
I'm not doing that one.
But it's hard, man. It's so hard, and the people who are doing it, like it took me like quite a long time to master that, and your hands just got to be real steady and. But it's definitely a cool thing to get into, and man, I think like that's awesome. You're getting into this stuff that kind of relaxes your mind, and there's so many things that we can worry about in life, bro.
Yeah, dude.
There's so many problems, and I think it's good to get into stuff like this. Just like boxing itself, to get into stuff like this to kind of get your mind away.
It's the yin to your yang, man. Like,
bro, definitely, man.
Boxing's such a chaotic sport, and it provides so much that you need. You need those adrenaline spikes throughout your day, throughout your weeks, throughout your months. You have a fight, you peak, and then you come down, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, like you've accomplished something, and you need to kind of
bring it down. You need to bring it down a level. Exactly. You can't be running at 100 all the way.
That's what's wrong with society in a lot of ways right now. Like, I'm not going to pretend like I know anything about society, but the way I see it is like people are running at a pace that they can't sustain because if you work 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day, you're always running at even if it's not right up here, it could just be like a linear level of stress. You're stressed all day, and you go home, you go to sleep, and you wake up, you stress again, and it's just constant stress, constantly doing stuff. Whereas boxing offers that peak, and that's kind of why I use coffee as well. Because before I train, I have a coffee, and that helps me spike, and it helps me like
gives you that
balance
boost
my day.
When you need it as well.
Exactly.
Definitely. It's interesting. You mentioned about that. Like, do you think you could ever do like a I mean, you definitely wouldn't want to do like a 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 kind of thing. Like, that's not how do you feel about that, bro?
I've only ever had one job. I've only ever been employed once. I was cleaning dishes at a rest home.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I it was maybe 3.5, 4 hours twice a week, and that was hard, man. That was hard.
Washing dishes is not easy, man.
No, man.
It's not
like,
easy, bro.
No, I remember the oldies would like hoik into their cups and stuff, and I was like, come on, man. It was like, oh, dude.
But that's pretty nasty, man.
Yeah, that's pretty gross. But anyway, like, well, what I'm saying is like, whatever you do, if you do it long enough, it becomes the norm. And like, if I had to work, at a checkout 8 hours a day, it'd be really hard. I'd struggle if I had to do like one 8 hour day at a checkout. It'd be really tough. But I train 2 or 3 times a day, but I get to come home after every session and I get to hang out with my dog. I get to eat, nap if I need to. it's a great lifestyle. But you know, if someone else were to step into my shoes, they'd think, what the hell is this?
Yeah, it's definitely different, you know, that change as well.
Yeah.
Competing as well. You know, you've been around. You've traveled quite a bit. You know, you've competed in events across the world and stuff like that. Could you share like some interesting? What are some of the interesting sports you've been to or experiences you've had?
I've been to. I counted a few months ago. I've been to 28 countries now.
Wow,
28
countries.
Yeah, boxing takes you some places that you'd never go to otherwise. You know, there's a lot of countries you wouldn't even think of. It's their national sport. So you imagine, say Kazakhstan, for example, their national sport is boxing. And so if you think of all the kids in New Zealand that play rugby and threw them into boxing, and then times that by however many million people there are in Kazakhstan, it's a massive country.
It is, man. It's huge.
That's a lot of that's really tough, man. That's there's a lot of competition for you. Whereas here in New Zealand, you know, I've got maybe 3, maybe 4 guys in New Zealand that I can fight.
Yeah.
It's dead, man. It's such a small sport. But going back to the places I've been, I don't know, dude. Some of the stranger places I've been to would be like Albania. I went to Albania.
Wow, yeah.
I went there, just me and another coach, all the way over to Albania to qualify for the 2014 Commonwealth Games.
Wow.
And I'm not sure, but I think I'm still a superhero over there. I'm a superstar over there.
Wow.
Yeah, in Albania.
They're probably gonna check out this video. Eh?
Yeah, I hope so. I stopped this guy. I put him down in 12 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah. But I found out afterwards that the poor dude had never had a fight before. Someone is from Macedonia. Some Macedonian kid got thrown in. And I didn't know who he was, but as soon as I got in, I realized, he doesn't know what he's doing. So I think I threw 2 punches and put him down, and that was it.
In 12 seconds.
So I thought I was the man. I thought I was the man until I heard that was his first or second fight, and I was like, okay.
Kind of feel bad after
I'm
that.
a bit of a dick, yeah.
And I understand you during these travels that you've been as well. You've trained and fought alongside or fought with some big names as well. What is that? Or some of them have actually, you know, turned professional or stuff like that. You know, what has that experience like done for you?
It's just showed me that I'm world class. That I'm able to like mix it up with the best. And it's not a big deal to me, and I don't think it should be because I have these expectations of myself, you know. But
you don't want to expect any less.
No, exactly, yeah. And so there's nobody with higher expectations of myself than myself. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. And you know, like, yeah, I just feel like those people you should be comparing yourself to all the time. And if you're not aiming high enough, you know.
That's it. You always wanna aim to be the best. And
yeah,
I mean,
sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, you gotta try. You can't if you set your expectations low, you know you might not be happy with the results. You know, so always aim high.
One thing I struggle with some younger kids, they go on with these really high expectations, but when they realize it's not what they think it is, that's when they drop it.
It's tough, go, man. Nope. It's tough, you know.
Yeah.
It's all that hard work, the dedication, you know. And that's the other one as well. You know, you have as what you're saying, you have your high days and you have your really low days.
Yeah.
And so when you're now having your low day and you're feeling like shit, you start to doubt yourself, and you know, you gotta be careful at these times. You know, how you approach this, you know, the situation.
You have to own it in a lot of ways. You have to really wear them. And if you try to block them out or just ignore it, you're not going to grow from it. You know, like I like to think, you know, if you're feeling like crap, it's okay to feel like crap. Don't try to pretend you're not, because that's being, you know, you want to be your authentic self all the time. You don't want to pretend like you're being someone you're not. And I think in this day and age, people are starting to appreciate like vulnerability, especially within men. Men don't feel like they're able to feel vulnerable, but being able to own that is empowering in a lot of ways. You know, you can resolve a lot of issues that you might otherwise keep down, and they'll turn into bigger problems down the line.
Yeah, I think like I like they're slowly starting to change that idea. You know, it used to be we always just put our problems aside. You know, like we just deal with it. You know, doesn't matter. Like or we'll just drown it out with something else.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, we keep and we kind of push it aside.
Yeah.
Which you know, in the long run,
well,
it's not going to do you any good.
We're going to go off track again, but like you think of women's rights, we're putting if we're giving you know, women are allowed to do just about anything now, and they've got a lot more stress on them. You know, like even if that's what they want. But we have to be able to change as well. Us as men, we have to be able to change who we are in a lot of ways, because, you know, we've put a lot of weight on mothers, you know, mothers that have to go back to work. And for us as men, we have to be able to connect with our, you know, with our sensitive side, because
that's right.
we have to adapt. And that's I think that's always changing in like today's culture.
Yeah, But I feel like it's good. There's the world is shifting towards facing this this stuff and trying to help people as well.
Yeah.
Because you know we are no experts, you know, in this category.
Me and you.
Yeah. We're definitely not experts in this stuff, you know. But I feel that we definitely there's help out there, like if we need to, and that's the other thing as well, like. You actually sometimes people don't realize how much potential they have, and it will take you. You know, you just need to see someone or approach someone who has the skills, who's like a mindset coach or a performance coach, and they can kind of unlock certain things in your head that you might not know you had. You know, and you have that strength. I feel like everybody has that strength, bro, but just people don't realize how strong they are, and. You know, it's easy to fall into what people say, you know, like oh, you can't do this.
If you hear it enough times, you'll start believing it, man.
Yeah, that's it. And so I think the number one thing is you've got to always remind yourself every day, you know, hey, look, I can do this. I'm capable of this. I can do that. You know, I'm gonna get there. You know, it's just a matter of time. I got to improve or this or that. But you know, it's not impossible, bro. I think I've met like, you know, so many people like yourselves as well, you know, and who've accomplished big things, bro. You know, and it's just keeping your mindset and not falling off track and giving up. That's a big one, I feel.
That's so true, man. Like I always find some things I'll keep to myself if I feel like it doesn't need to be addressed yet. But as soon as you speak it, it's out there. It becomes real. As soon as say if you're having doubts, sometimes my doubts I want to keep quiet because that's something that, you know, I need to deal with internally. But if I need help, the best thing to do is to just say it. You know, you have to say it out loud. Even if you're just saying it to yourself, all of a sudden it's something that you know is real and that you have to address. And if you can talk to someone that you feel comfortable with, and let's say your family or your close friends, you can you know, really like correct whatever's wrong, and like you know, build your character. Like you will become a calloused mind from that, and you'll become stronger and tougher.
Definitely. Right, we've gone too much on the you know, the internal stuff. We've gone deep.
People gotta hear, man. People gotta hear.
They gotta listen, bro.
Man.
That's the truth, bro. You know, we don't want to just give them the you know, all the rainbows and the lollipops, bro. We want to give them the real.
I told you, man. I'm an old head in boxing now.
Yeah,
I've been around.
Definitely. You've seen quite a few things
Yeah.
as well. So talking about that, bro, like you know, back to you know, so it depends now what the Olympics gonna be like. You know, goes on or not. But one thing's for sure. If it does happen or not, after that, you're going to turn pro.
Yeah,
you know,
I think I have to, man.
It definitely is going to happen.
Yeah.
But it's either you get an Olympic medal before that, or the Olympic doesn't happen.
Yeah, I guess either way, like I'm one of the only boxers that's qualified. So
yeah.
I'm one of the only boxers that would have qualified for the Olympics. So that's cool, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like to. I'm thinking the UK is probably the place to be right now. I have like relatively good connections over there.
And it's a pretty good. I think it's a pretty good scene to be as a professional.
Yeah.
You know, connections. You know, talking about management, talking about events and stuff like that as well. So I mean, like usually either be the UK or the US.
Yeah.
So,
I just can't quite deal with the US thing. It's a little bit too loud, you know.
Yeah,
a little bit too loud.
It's too complicated. Complicated.
And I feel like the UK isn't too far removed from how we live here.
From your family as well.
Yeah. So I've got a British passport, so that'll help me get to and from kind of
Definitely.
thing. But yeah, I imagine it'll be a big change. But I think that's the place to be. Possibly Matchroom. I don't know, to be honest.
Definitely. Like well, I mean, I'm sure, bro, they've got their eyes set on you already. Like it's really interesting. Like I'm sure they have people who look out for up and comers, potential guys, and you'll be like, I mean, it's quite surprising. Like you know, that these guys have actually, you know, paid attention, and they've really because at the end of the day, they still run a business, and they've got to look at the years ahead. You know, who are the guys who's going to be making us money?
Yeah,
you know, we want that money. So
I've even heard that the UFC might be moving into boxing.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting as well.
Yeah.
You know, and it's I mean, well,
they could take over, man.
You can't stop. Over. Yeah, bro, you can't
stop Dana White.
Yeah, you can't. The one thing crazy, you know, man, is you can't stop him, bro. The man does what he wants to do, which is so interesting because you look at the way, I mean, definitely every organization has their own politics and, you know, their own stuff as well. But like you look at the UFC's way of doing it is like everybody fights everybody. You know, there's no picking and choosing, and it's like it's one organization who does. So like you can't really run, you can't really choose. I mean, you can when you reach some people actually do when they reach a certain level. They have certain pull power, you know, your pay-per-view power, and all that things come into play. And like with boxing, it's so interesting with all these different promoters, and you have their own internal
they're all fighting with each other, aren't they?
Bro, you know, and at the end of the day, I think like you know, as a professional yourself, you know, you got to look out for yourself and your family, and you know, you got to feed yourself. So
the scary thing is that I don't that doesn't work for boxers, you know.
Hey you, don't forget to subscribe, like and share this video.
That kind of the bickering between the promoters, that kind of falls onto the boxers. So the boxers have this, they need to be building their record in order to be able to sell themselves to these promoters that are fighting against each other. So, you know, if you have a 20-0 record, it doesn't actually mean a hell of a lot, but it's good selling, it's good bartering chips, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
But for those 20 people that you've beaten, a lot of them you've probably abused, man. And like a lot of fighters become journeymen, and they you know, they take some losses that they probably don't need to take, and they take a bit of damage they don't need to take either. So the idea that the best should fight the best makes so much sense. It makes so much sense.
Definitely. And that's the thing as well. I think with I feel like the difference between boxing and MMA is like the boxers are, you know, they treasure that zero loss. You know, like it's at the top. Definitely nobody wants to lose.
No.
But you look at MMA, you know, like some of the fellas who've had losses, but they might be still like really dangerous guys, you know, and they might still be at the very top. So for them, it's like, I feel like that O is not the only thing, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
That stops them from achieving and gaining that, you know. But yeah, with boxing,
because if you're entertaining, then you're entertaining. That's all there is to it. You know?
It is, at the end of the day, it is an entertainment business, man. You know, you gotta entertain people, and you know how styles make fights. You know how personalities, you know, sell. You know, so you know, you have that whole. Look at what, you know, Izzy is doing, man. Like it's really interesting. You know what it's just, I feel like it's also like his personality, and he has that factor, bro. You know,
the X factor. He has the charisma. He has the whole package, man. That dude works hard.
Definitely,
that dude works
he's
hard.
He's a real hard worker as well, bro. And I'm actually really happy to look at, you know, him, what he's achieved and what he's done as well. And, you know, stuff that he said as well, like, you know, he was talking about money, you know, because definitely we all know boxers make definitely a lot more money compared to the guys in the UFC.
I don't know, man.
Oh, well, that's what
that's
what they say, you know. And so like he was saying, you know, and what I love about what he said, like he said he's gonna do it in the UFC. He doesn't have to go in a boxing ring to get that kind of money. And like that's the kind of confidence that me and Junior were talking about the other day as well. You know, you gotta have that confidence. You know, and I feel like you gotta have that ability to go against what everybody believes and everybody expects you to do, and you kind of set your own path and you go for it, bro.
That's it, man. Yeah.
You just can't be shy and you can't be afraid. You just, you know, just go against what everybody says, you know, and do your thing, bro.
Yeah.
And if you're doing well, like, you know, your results actually make the most noise, you know.
Yeah.
And it's not just the talking and the personality. Well, you gotta have a little bit of both.
I think it helps.
It definitely helps, you know. And I think people can relate. So like, what's interesting as well, like, would you rather be someone who people love or someone who people kind of hate, but you know,
you get paid more?
Yeah.
It's a tough one, eh?
Bro, that's really interesting. It's so weird, I know, but sometimes when you get the hate, it just brings a lot of attention as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. And what I heard before, one thing they were saying, like, you know, whether you love me or you hate me, you're still gonna pay me, man.
Yeah. I think it helps to be a little bit arrogant. And I definitely have like a more subtle form of arrogance. You know, I don't go out of my way to make other people look stupid. You know, but
definitely,
I'm very aware that I'm like one of the best combat athletes in the world. You know,
one of the best your results. Speak for it. You know, it's not just you saying it.
Yeah, and that's it. My exact point is that, you know, you should be able to back yourself, and if you're working hard enough and you do have the belief in yourself, then why not say it? Because like I said before, man, as soon as you've said it, it becomes real.
Embrace it, bro. You know, you embrace it and you allow yourself, you give yourself the permission to, you know, to say who you really are.
Yeah,
which is,
man.
Bro, that is the truth.
It's powerful, man.
Yeah, bro. You gotta embrace it, bro. And I feel like society doesn't like that. You know, they don't like you to embrace who you are and what you're capable of. And that's just shit because
there's that tall poppy syndrome kind of thing. You know, like a lot of people won't like Israel because he says it how it is and he's backed it up. Yeah, that's every
time, bro. And you know, he does what he says, which is so funny. You know, I personally, like, you know, I train, you know, obviously I train at kickboxing with the boys and all that. And so, I mean, I'm not saying I side with anybody, but like, you know, obviously I support Izzy when he's fighting as well, you know, because not only because we train together or I've seen him before, I know him, or, you know, like, but you know, you can see his skills, bro, you know, and I sometimes I hear some fellas saying like, oh, you know, somebody, you know, or you know, just the comments that people give, you know, somebody was knocking him out or whatever. At first, I felt like, you know, at first I was a bit bothered by it. I was like, man, and then after a while, I just like, say whatever you want, bro. Like, we're just gonna watch the fight. We'll see the results, and then we'll talk after that. You say whatever you want now.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, like, you can't let that kind of talk bother you, because it's not going to help.
It's just opinions, you know, like your opinion has no weight on me and it doesn't affect me. I don't care what you say. You can say whatever you want, you know, like if you like it, you do. If you don't,
it takes training though. You know, obviously for a lot of people, it's going to bother you hearing someone say something mean about you, because these keyboard warriors out there, they're tough, man. They're tough. They're tough critics.
Bro, the stuff they can come up with is crazy, man. But yeah, like you said, it's, you know, it takes practice, it takes training, and
those people can't be reasoned with. They can't be reasoned with. It's not worth it.
And it's so funny, like, you know, in real life, bro, they'll never say those kind of stuff out in person, but it's just shit. But you know, I think like you know, people shouldn't. For me, I believe that if you've got nothing nice to say, or you know, don't say nothing, man. Just keep it to yourself. Like, you know, if you want to say it, go ahead, man. You know, nobody cares. But anyway, you know, that's the mindset. You know, talking about the mindset game. That's, you know, something that's on another level as well. You know, like for yourself, you know, you obviously train a lot, 2-3 times a day, and it definitely takes a toll mentally.
Mentally, yeah. For me, the hardest thing is training by myself, man. Like, you know, I do more than half my training by myself, whether that be here or in Cambridge. It's lonely, man. It gets really quiet.
It is. After a while, you know, you feel kind of
Yeah,
but it's good to mix it up a little bit, you know.
It's not mixing it up for me, bro. Mixing it up would be training with the CKB boys or in Sheffield with the GB boxing squad. Like that's mixing it up. But it's definitely character building. Like I've had to in the lead up for the Olympic qualifiers, you know, I got to the point where I was, you know, I didn't know how to stimulate my mind. Like it was really tough just to come to training and get up for it, because I was like, it's just me, man. There's no one to keep me accountable.
That's the one.
So I came down here. I trained in my underwear. I turned all the lights off. I did everything, man. I did everything to try keep myself interested, to try make training different.
It's definitely a different way to do it, training in your underwear. Or,
yeah, it was weird, dude. There's no one else here.
Yeah, if it works, why not?
Yeah, but it's weird, dude. Like, so I can't wait to, you know, start looking elsewhere for that kind of.
I think a lot more doors are gonna open for you as well when you move. Like as you said, you know, if you were to move to the UK, there's definitely a lot more opportunities. And a lot more professionals there as well. You know, you kind of have you start to have a team.
Yeah,
you know, people close to you, and you know, just keep you interested as well, and just spice things up here and there. You know, and I think that's good, bro. Like, I'm really, to be honest, I'm really excited to see. Well, definitely looking forward to you competing in the Olympics. That's for sure, and definitely, you know, looking forward to you bringing the gold medal. You know. But like later, you know, looking past that, you know, like your pro career, you still got a long way ahead, man. And that's what excites me, bro. Is to, I love to see, like, I really love to see people develop, bro. You know, and people do stuff and go places and accomplish things. And bro, I love that. You know, it gets me like real worked up. You know, I'm
cool, man.
Yeah, bro. I love it, man. I'm really looking forward to this kind of stuff. Like, you know, it's just so cool. And you know, I don't know, maybe it excites me even more than it does for you, bro.
Probably does, man. And like, honestly, like when I compete overseas, I'm so jealous of the people back home. I'm thinking like, what I'm doing is really cool, man. But I'm in it all the time, and I'm, it's you know, it's nerve wracking. Like, it's really tough being in that position all the time. And I'm thinking like, oh man, I wish I was back home watching on, kind of thing, because it'd be so fun.
It's a lot of pressure as well, you know, especially, you know, when you're going to represent, you know, there's quite a bit of weight on you as well. I feel like they tell you that, okay, you know, David, do your best. But at the back of my, you better get something, man. Like, you know, you better win this, bro. You know.
Yeah, man. Like, I was thinking about it just yesterday. I was doing some shadow boxing or whatever, and I was thinking, it's like, I think I get scared, man. I get scared when I'm going into fight, but I'm not scared of the other dude. I'm scared of, you know, what might become of me after the fight. You know, how my mentality is going to change, because you never know what you're going to get in the ring. You never know how you're going to, you know, progress. If you're going to progress, if you lose a fight and all of a sudden, you know, it's like, you know, toys are out the cot, you know, or I don't know. This is just like, it's the kind of sport where there is so much chaos that you never know what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen, man? What's gonna happen? And
there was
scary, man.
There's something you said about this. There was a guy who said this. I can't remember where exactly I heard it. He says that every fight chips away and takes away something from someone. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, that kind of makes a bit of sense, eh? It makes a bit of sense. It takes something, but it also gives you something. It gives you the experience. It gives you the opportunity to learn. And whether you take that opportunity or not is up to you.
Definitely.
And I feel like I've taken every opportunity that I can. But there is, like you said, there's something that gets taken away. Something gets taken away. And
it chips away at you slowly. The more, you know, I mean, you can learn something, but every fight definitely takes something from you. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, it's a scary thought. I never thought of that before.
It might not be physical damage, but it might be emotional as well.
Yeah.
And that's another interesting one is I watched a documentary before on one of the fighters. It might have been Lomachenko. Might be wrong, but it was saying something about how he has this certain tactic of before he even out punches you. He plays a mind game with you in there, and he demoralizes you, and he makes you feel like shit. And then from there, he just slowly picks at you and
pulls you apart.
Pulls you apart.
It's cruel, man. What he does is cruel.
It is.
The way he boxes is cruel. Like,
it is, man. But like, it's so interesting.
Yeah.
It is very interesting.
Yeah.
And in some ways, do you feel that you kind of, it's a bit of a mind game as well in there for you?
Yeah. Oh, it's the biggest mind game, man. Like, because you've got everything outside of the ring, and then all of a sudden, you've got to collect all of your learnings and everything and put them in the ring against someone that their sole focus is to not let you do what you want to do. And so you've got someone that's thinking, I'm gonna hurt this guy, and I'm not gonna let him hurt me. And that's exactly what you're trying to do. So it's whoever does it better. And if you can't do that, then it's pretty personal, man. It's pretty personal, and like it's for a lot of people, it can really damage them. It can damage them, like you said, emotionally. It's not so much physical. In amateur boxing, it's 3 rounds. You can get in, get out, be really tired, but you might not be hurt at all. But you lost the fight, and it's like, it feels personal though.
Sometimes some people take it too personal and just eats away at you. But it goes back to what we were saying. You learn from it, and you progress, and you try to build a better version of yourself. And try not to let it affect you too much.
That game never ends, man. I don't think it ends.
Yeah, bro.
If it does, you're probably doing something wrong.
Yeah, that's it.
Keep building.
Yeah, keep building. And I mean, even for like, I speak with a lot of professionals, a lot of people who are at the top of their game, and even like yourself as well. You're always learning. It doesn't stop.
No,
it's a continuous process. So that's what really cool. I think it keeps you interested as well. So I think we've been going on for a while. Man. Nice, and before we go, I just want to usually ask everyone, do you have any words for the people watching, listening? Any advice for them, or if they could walk away with something from this podcast that we've done, what would it be?
I think for me, the most important thing has been, in my sport especially, has been knowing who I am and knowing what I expect of myself, and that's kind of manifested in my sport. I've known what to expect from myself, and I've known where I want to go, and long term, if you stay true to your values, you'll achieve these goals. But just knowing who you are and knowing that you are the point of difference in your life is empowering. You need to make sure that you just stick to your values, and everything else will work out.
Definitely, man. I think that's beautiful words, brother. That's really beautiful words. So I think we shall wrap it up there.
Cool,
David, thank you so much for coming down and having a chat with us. Appreciate it, brother. And we just want to wish you all the best for hopefully the Olympics, if it does happen. And also for future after the Olympics, your professional career, and also just in general for me, just developing yourself as an individual as well, because there's like I said, there's things that I feel people can do to kind of tap into areas they haven't got to yet.
Yeah, they haven't unlocked it yet.
Yeah, bro, and I feel that I personally feel that there's so much that you can still get to as well, which is even more crazy because you're already at this level. Imagine where you could be if you got that. I'm really looking forward to that, man. And in terms of when you get to your professional career as well, you become, you move towards becoming a business and a brand of yourself, and knowing you personally, a little bit of you personally, but more of the character and the people around you as well. I'm sure that you're gonna build very good brand of yourself.
Yeah, man.
And I'm really excited, really looking forward to that. And yeah, man, that's thank you once again for coming. And guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast today. Hope you guys learned something from it, pick up something from it, and hope you guys support David on his journey. I'll put up his socials as well. You're on Facebook, Instagram, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'll put links up to that as well. Follow him, follow his journey, and support the guy, man. All right, that's it. That's us.
Cheers, dude. Wicked.
Hey you, don't forget to subscribe, like and share this video.